Before we get started, I'm using the same file that I used in the previous lesson, and that's blendingmodestestlab.psd. Go ahead and open that up. I've also already explained all this stuff down here. This layer is being influenced by a blend layer of one of these three up here. That's how it works. We're going to change right here and go into blend, but we're going to do the exact opposite, in a sense, of what we did in the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, we looked at darken blending modes. In this lesson, we're going to look at lighten blending modes. So if we come up here, blend is what we're changing. We're going to go to pass through and change that to one of these. Let's start with the one called lighten. Now what does it do? It looks at the color information and selects the base or the blend color, whichever's lighter. So if we go into lighten, you'll notice how it's lightening each one of them up. So it looks at the blend and it looks at the base. And whatever color is lighter wins. The next one is called screen. Now in screen, again, it looks at the colors and multiplies the inverse of the blend and base colors. That's kind of fun to think about, isn't it? What it's doing, it's overall lightening an image up. I mean, I look at it as a very common lightening trick. And so if we click on screen, you'll notice that this one especially just looks lighter. Not anything else, it just looks lighter. This one is really taking on the color of the cyan, almost washing it out. And on this one, based on how this area gets darker, influences it almost exactly the opposite of the previous lesson. Now we're concentrating on lighter areas, not darker. Next one, color dodge. It looks at the color information and brightens the base color to reflect the blend color. So if we get into here, again, the overall result is lighting, but it's a little bit more serious on what it does, and it almost blows some of these areas out based on the colors. Next one, linear dodge. What linear dodge does is it looks at the color information and brightens the base color to reflect the blend color by increasing the brightness. So overall, it's just going to make things lighter in a much more aggressive way than the previous one. And the final one is lighter color. In this case, it's going to look at the base and the blend, and it's just going to keep the image lighter. It will not use anything darker. So if we go into there, you'll notice as we get into an area like this, we're losing the information completely because this area is lighter. This color, in terms of its brightness, is very similar to a lot of these colors in here, but most of these other areas, it's lighter, so they're gone. And in the case of them both being equal, it doesn't change them at all. Now let's get practical again. Let's go into apply. This time, dark. Let's go ahead and turn that one on so we can see it. Way too dark. We need to fix this image. Make a copy of it, Control J. Tell you what, change the blending mode to screen. It's lighter, and I do like it, but it needs more, so make another copy, Control J. It already has the screen attached to it. Getting better, I'm going to do it again. Control J again. Every time we do it, it will use the screen and make it lighter and lighter and lighter. Let's say that we don't like it at this point, it's too light, but on the previous one we did it was too dark. Well, that's when you go into opacity on the last one and just pull it down a little bit to get it exactly where you want. So screening an image using one of the lighten blending modes is again a down and dirty way to fix an image. Tell you what, let's reset this image and get ready for the next lesson. So we're going to get rid of the dark copies. Let's go ahead and collapse apply. That's a group. Turn that off. Go into blend as a group and change that back to pass through. Now we're ready. On to the next.